Hey everybody. This is a very serious question, and I would like real answers from you, if you don't mind. It's a request from me. I know we have fun on this channel. We joke a lot. But as you know, as some of you know, I have another project that I work on called Tissue Box Channel, which started out as a joke, but it's turned into something very serious for me personally, just to grow myself. And one of the things I've started doing is I've been writing either sometimes short stories, sometimes prose, sometimes my own personal feelings have gone onto there's only still a very limited amount of tissue box videos where I'm talking. There's maybe 6 or 7 of them, but I have a lot more lined up that I'm working on and kind of crafting each one of those. And I look forward to those more than anything. For me personally, it's weird that out of all of the accomplishments in my life that I have, and of all of the work I do in the day on these big large projects, that the one project that really I think brings me more joy than it should is this tissue box channel. And I think it's probably because there's a sense of accomplishment with it. I can make something, go record something, find the music, put it together, and then it's done. Whereas every other project I have, there is no end to it, really. I mean, it's very hard. It's too long. You can't. It's very hard to see the end of the tunnel of a book revision. It's just such a long process. Or the building of this website, where it keeps changing every meeting we have. Things keep getting better, honestly, and then certain things we have to figure out. Well, how do we fix this problem now that we've created this? And what goes here? It's. And I go to bed with those thoughts on my mind, not worries, but just like unending things. Whereas something like Country Dilemma, a tissue box video, where I wrote it based on a concept, talking to somebody, and then I spoke it a couple times into my recorder, and then I lined up the words, and I put the music in, and then I went and shot the video that I thought best matched it. And then I put it up, and it's done. It's out of my mind, and there's something really refreshing about that. I'm working on one now, and normally I don't like to talk about, what I'm doing. I like to kind of just throw it out there and surprise it with you. Because I do talk to a few people about it, but normally not to everybody. This one is different. I want to know, what would you do if you found out reliably, and there's no questioning it, that you will be dead in 5 years? Now, I'm sure it's different for everybody, at what age you are, what country you live in. But this is not a joke. I'm not looking for funny answers. I will, if there's any answer that I think is a joke or is trying to be funny, I'm just not gonna use it, because I'm trying to incorporate these answers into this next 10-minute video. Whether it's the next one or the one after that, I don't know. I want to know, what would you do in your current life, in your current situation, if someone reliably told you, hey Jeff, which is my go-to name, I have bad news for you. You're going to die in 5 years, and we know this for a fact. It's 5 years, and there's no way around it. You will be dead. Make peace with your world and do what you need to do. Now, I assume that these plans always include getting your affairs in order and stuff like that, but what would you do? What would you do? I'm not looking for answers in the chat right now, for the record. If you want to post them in there, that's fine. I'm not really looking for them. I think Lanny Hooley, for example, says, I would try to see as much of the world as I could, but I want details. What does that mean? That's a very ambiguous goal. You'd have to really think about it. Where do you get that kind of money? How do you get that kind of money? I could say magically you have all the money, but what if you don't? What do you do? So, what do you do? 5 years. What do you stop doing? Sometimes it's not about what do you do. What do you stop doing? Because there are certainly things that we do thinking that there is no end, that there is no end, so we do these things. Is there a petty quarrel that you have with someone, a beef with someone that you have that you say, you know what? It's time I made up. I'm not dying, by the way. I want to point that out. I'm getting emotional thinking about. I'm not even thinking about myself. I'm thinking about what if someone around me only had 5 years? What if I knew that they had only 5 years? And I was thinking about my father, who's still alive. My mother is still alive. All of my father's wives are still alive. But I thought, I already made up with my father. I'm lucky. If my father died tomorrow, I don't know if I would have any regrets about my father. I would have regrets about my mother. I haven't seen my mother since I was 9, and even then it didn't end well. And that was the first time I remember seeing her, because I was separated from her due to certain life circumstances at age 2. So I don't have memories of my mother beyond that. And my memories that I have of her now are maybe two memories I have of her. But my father, for many years, was very contentious between us, and we fought. And, I'm basically very liberal, and he's basically very conservative, and that caused a lot of issues. And there were many, many Christmases where we didn't meet due to the anger that we shared for each other. And my friend Tadashi Fukumachi, who actually owns the house next to me, who I met on a tour before I was even married 20-some years ago. We meet him every so often when he comes back to the States. He's actually here now. And I talk about my dad. He knows my dad. His dad manages his house. And he said to me one time when I was having issues with my dad, he said, "You got to bury all of that. Because when he's gone, you can't." So I did. I'm a lot more conservative with my father now than I ever was before I thought about it that way. I hate a lot of things about my father. I mean, I think we all can say there are things about our parents that we don't like. But is it such a big enough problem to where if we had 5 years left, we would carry that on? I certainly wouldn't. Even not knowing my time of death, I stopped it, and I don't regret it. I don't regret it. Because no matter, I'm sure there are bad parents. There are definitely bad parents. But then there are parents that are bad, but they're still trying. I'm certainly guilty of fucking up with my daughters, but still being a good person as much as I think I am. What would you do different? I didn't mean to go this direction, but what would you do different? I want a real answer. I would appreciate a real answer. If you're inclined, post a response in this live, which I will leave up. I will open this unlisted. Normally I leave the live streams unlisted, but I'll list it. And I might not read what you write. I will read everything. I might not put it in the prose that I'm writing, which I think I'm going to be calling 5 Years Left. I think that'll be the name of it. And it'll be music and voice on the channel. I don't even think I'm talking about the huge regrets, the obvious things that you would do the travel the world type things. I think it's the small things. Let me just, because I'm not going to talk about myself in this particular one, but I'm thinking, let me just think. I actually hadn't thought about it, but I should have. But what would I do if I suddenly found out that in 2023, June 22nd, I'm dead? And let's set a condition that I have full use of that time. I'm not bedridden, okay? And my back's working fine and I can walk. Would I stop learning language? No. I wouldn't stop. So I think we have to evaluate what would you stop. I wouldn't stop learning language. I would definitely... I would keep building my books and I would keep... But I would set a final book. I wouldn't have the ambiguous, is there Japanese from 0 book 6 in my mind. I wouldn't have that. It would be, let's get book 5 out. Maybe after book 5's out, I'll consider a book 6. I would certainly build a series of videos only for my daughters. And my wife. And in those videos that they would watch only after my death, could I be really honest? Because there would be no self-image. There'd be no embarrassing moments. Sorry. I just plan on making a short video asking for what you would do. I don't want to know about your regrets. I just want to know what you would do to tie up your life. I'm not dying. I have no sickness. I'm very healthy. Okay? I'm not having a breakdown or something. I'm just got emotional. I'm pretty in touch with my emotions. Crying for me is not an unusual thing. I still want to really show it too much. I can't. Can you believe I don't have a tissue box here? Got a tissue box. I have a ton of these in my car because I drive to go do tissue box channel. Okay. All right. That's my request. I should end this now so it's not this big long thing. Just please post your responses down below. I'm going to read them. Thanks, guys. 5 years starts now. What are you going to do?